Here's the truth. The creative industry keeps quiet. They profit when you only think project to project. This single mistake costs 95% of creatives over $10,000 a year. Every month you delay building a long-term financial plan, you accept a future where your passion can't pay your bills. Stop letting short-term gigs chip away at your life's work. Together, let's fix that, right now. Before we dive in, I want to be crystal clear. I'm a financial educator, not a licensed financial advisor. The ideas we talk about here are for educational purposes, to help you build awareness and ask better questions. This isn't personalized financial advice, so please always consult with a qualified professional for your unique situation. Okay, let's get into it. The real issue isn't a lack of talent or a shortage of gigs. The core problem is a story we've been told, and have told ourselves, for generations. The story that true art and smart commerce cannot coexist. We build a wall in our minds. On one side is the sacred space, our studio, our notebook, our canvas, where pure creativity happens. On the other side is the transactional world of invoices, contracts, and retirement accounts. We're taught to believe that crossing that wall, bringing money into the sacred space, somehow taints the art itself. It feels like selling out. So what happens? We undervalue our own work to protect its perceived purity. We get uncomfortable during negotiations. We say yes to projects that drain our energy but don't pay the bills because they feel artistically valid. We tell ourselves that thinking about a 401k is something for business people, not for us. This mindset forces us into a defensive crouch, always reacting to the next financial fire instead of proactively building a life where our creativity can truly flourish without the constant pressure of financial instability. This isn't a personal failing, it's a cultural inheritance, but it's one we can choose to leave behind. So what if this entire conflict is a myth? What if the most revered and successful creators in history understood a fundamental principle about the relationship between their craft and their wealth that we've been taught to forget? They understood a principle so fundamental that it governs every healthy relationship, every successful business, and every thriving ecosystem. It's the principle of value exchange. Dan Perwentime. At its core, this isn't a cold corporate concept. It's a deeply human one. Value exchange is simply the idea that the energy you put out into the world through your work, your skill, your time, your unique perspective, should be met with an equivalent energy coming back to you. In our economy, that returning energy often takes the form of money, but reframing it as energy is the crucial first step. It's not just cash, it's fuel. It's the resource that allows you to buy more time, better tools, and the peace of mind required to create your next great work. The myth of the starving artist teaches us that asking for that return energy is somehow greedy or a betrayal of our art. We're told the reward should be the act of creation itself. But that's like telling a gardener they should be satisfied by the joy of planting, and that expecting a harvest to feed their family is a distraction from their true purpose. It's a false choice. When the value exchange is broken, when you pour your soul into a project and receive a fraction of its worth in return, you create a deficit. This isn't just a financial deficit on a spreadsheet, it's a creative one. It's a deficit of morale, of confidence, and of the very energy you need to show up and do your best work tomorrow. You can run on passion for a while, but you cannot run on a deficit forever. That is the path to burnout. Embracing the principle of value exchange is the bedrock of a long-term creative life. It's the act of acknowledging that your work has inherent worth, and that it is not only okay, but essential, to ask for that worth to be recognized. This isn't about becoming a ruthless capitalist. It's about becoming a responsible steward of your own talent. It's what allows you to move from a place of financial reactivity to a place of creative sustainability. I know this can still feel a bit abstract, like a concept from a business textbook. To make this principle tangible, let's use an analogy from a world we all understand intimately, the world of the creative process itself. Think of your long-term financial plan as your creative sketchbook. As an artist, you know that you don't just sit down and create a masterpiece from a blank canvas. The real work begins long before, in the quiet, unglamorous pages of your sketchbook. Each page is filled with small, imperfect studies, a gesture, a color palette, a turn of phrase. No single sketch is the final product. It's a low-stakes investment of time and energy, a private exploration. But over months and years, that sketchbook becomes an invaluable asset. It's a rich library of ideas, a foundation of practice that gives you the confidence and the raw material to execute your most ambitious projects. Now, apply that same logic to your finances. A regular contribution to a retirement account or a savings fund is a financial sketch. It's not the glamorous, finished piece. It's a small, quiet, consistent act. It's the unsexy foundational work. But just like your sketchbook, these small deposits accumulate over time, building a powerful resource. They create a foundation of security, a reservoir of freedom that will one day allow you to take bigger creative risks, say no to draining projects, and build the exact creative life you want. Every artist understands the necessity of the messy, private sketchbook that makes the masterpiece possible. So why have we been taught to see the financial equivalent, the patient, quiet act of building our future, as a betrayal of the art itself? The answer lies in a subtle but profound confusion of roles. We've been conditioned to identify solely as the artist, the visionary, the maker, the one who lives in the world of ideas. And when we're wearing that hat, anything outside of pure creation can feel like a distraction, or worse, a compromise. But to build a sustainable life, you must embrace a second, equally important identity, that of the creative professional. This isn't a different person, it's a different mode of operating. The artist creates the vision. The professional builds the vessel to carry that vision into the world and through time. The professional understands that a budget isn't a cage, it's the foundation for a bigger studio. A retirement plan isn't selling out, it's buying your future freedom to say no to soul-crushing gigs. They don't just wait for a client to call. They actively build the systems and structures that protect their time, their energy, and their ability to create on their own terms for decades to come. This is the fundamental shift. It's moving from being a passive recipient of your career to being its active director. It's the difference between being a passenger and being the pilot. This isn't about losing your soul. It's about giving your soul the support it needs to truly fly. So let's bring this all together and lay out the practical first steps for building your own blueprint. So the blueprint begins here, by recognizing that your financial health and your creative health are not two different things. They are a single, interconnected system. It's about consciously stepping into that role of the creative professional, the one who builds a sustainable life so your inner artist has the freedom to do their most meaningful work. This is a profound shift, and I'm curious where you are on this journey. So I want to ask you, what is the single biggest money myth you feel is holding you back as a creative? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Seeing them helps us all feel less alone in this. If you're ready to move past the myths and start building a practical plan for your future, make sure you subscribe. In our next video, we'll lay out the first foundational block of that plan. Let's build it together.